What preparation is that? Hello. Good afternoon, my dear students. Good afternoon, all. We are going to start the news analysis of January 2, the Hindu. Let me presume that all of you have already gone through the newspaper dated January 2, so that you are waiting for the intermittent questions that I shall give you. I expect all of you to answer them correctly. That apart, we shall discuss a few important news items that surfaced on January 2, so that it will give you an idea about how to approach the newspaper. I am sure that those who have been participating in the program for the last 1 month would definitely have improved tremendously, but nothing is taken for granted. Continuous efforts are needed, and I am sure my students are willing to do that. So, let us begin. The Hindu dated January 2. Expert panel gives go ahead for the vaccine, and farmers threaten to step up their protest against the government. So, these are the two major headlines of the Hindu dated January 2. We shall discuss them one by one. First, let me give you a question. Please do. Pick out the information that is not correct with regard to the vaccine, first vaccine to be approved by the Drug Controller General of India for usage in India. The vaccine candidate from Serum Institute of India, Pune, is named Covishield. B. Covishield, which is similar to the Oxford vaccine, is developed by the Oxford University Vaccine Group and is marketed by AstraZeneca. Covishield is equivalent and is exactly the same vaccine candidate developed by Oxford University and AstraZeneca. The DCGI has given approval to the vaccine to be used in 2 doses for 12 weeks apart. What is your answer? Read and give me your response. Is it none is incorrect, all except D, all except C, all except B, or none of these? Already 2 responses, 2 different responses have surfaced. Let me get a few more. Jasna has retracted her response. Okay. Good to see you, Ruchik. You are back to my general awareness sessions. Okay, many people have answered the third one. Vishnu says it is 1. The answer is all except C, the third option. Covishield is equivalent and is exactly the same vaccine candidate developed by Oxford University and AstraZeneca. That is a choice that I have given, but there is a correction. Covishield is equivalent but not exactly the same to the vaccine candidate developed by the Oxford University and marketed by AstraZeneca. So, the third option, C option, not third, C option is wrong, and that is what is given as the third one, third choice, all except C. I think it is clear to you, the vaccine that is going to be used in India, the vaccine that is permitted by the Drug Controller General of India to be used in India is equivalent but not exactly the same vaccine that is approved and is being used in UK by developed by the Oxford University and marketed by AstraZeneca. Okay. So, I think it is clear now. Now, I am moving on. Covishield, the vaccine candidate from Pune based Serum Institute of India, was approved by a subject expert committee of the Drugs Controller General of India on Friday. Bharat Biotech has been asked to furnish another company which has developed the vaccine that has been asked to furnish more data demonstrating the efficacy of its candidate Covaxin. So, Bharat Biotech's vaccine is called Covaxin and Serum Institute vaccine is called Covishield. An informed source confirmed to the Hindu. The note for Covishield came at the end of a marathon meeting of SEC which began in the morning and went on till late in the evening. Okay, SEC gives its recommendation to DCGI, which is the approving authority for drugs and vaccines. That is how the protocol of obtaining permission from the for any vaccination. SEC, the subject expert committee, will study the matter and will recommend to the Director General of Drug Control Director General, who is the authority to go ahead with the vaccine. Covishield is likely to be practically available for use within next week. Similar to that, in United Kingdom, we have approved the vaccine to be given in 2 doses 4 to 12 weeks apart. Listen, vaccination program in India, the COVID vaccination program in India is a very important news item. This is something that the world has been looking at. We have got a huge experience in vaccination, but the challenge is much more than that, because the challenge is that this vaccine has to be administered within 2 to 3 years time for the most of the population. So, that is a challenge. A vaccination program has to be implemented in 3 to 4 years is a major challenge. And on the other side, there are people who question the efficacy of vaccine, and many people have started casting their doubts on the efficacy of vaccine. They believe that the proper testing has not been done. So, anyway, so the authorities, the government authorities, those who volunteer themselves, all are taking risks or challenge. We do not know how much it is, but anyway, finally it has been rolled out. Please read and try to understand. This will surface in your examination for general awareness. A few articles also may come as a reference question for your English language test. So, some of the passages. Anyway, this is going to be a very important topic for the upcoming examination. Please read. Whatever writes up come on vaccination, read with an avaricious mind. Farmers threaten to step up protests. They ask government to take firm decision on repeal of laws. It looks as if farmers are not relenting. Out of the 4 demands that they have made, the government says that it has conceded 2, but Farmers Union later on said that there has not been a written conciliatory decision from the government. Farmers Union said they would intensify their protest if the centre did not take a firm stand on the repeal of the 3 farm laws during the next round of talks. So, they are firm on that point, that all the 3 laws must be repealed. And I read somewhere that they have demanded MSP coverage for more commodities. That also government has not conceded. Anyway, this is the 36th 7 days, adding more to their troubles, there was huge rain in Delhi. Already Delhi is facing chilling cold. So, they are, but anyway, farmers are striking, they are not relenting, they cannot be that easily persuaded, because they have come, they have said that they have come to fight for more than a year, they have got everything to fight for more than a year. Anyway, we have to find a solution. Hopefully the government will show the courage to meet the farmers and discuss the issues and finally settle the issue. On January 4, farmers and government are meeting again. Hopefully a positive solution will come out. Clear connection. The Hindu discusses about the inter-user connectivity, interconnection user charges regime that has come to an end on January 1, 2021. Hindu says that now the telecom companies have to focus more on this providing better quality service. The end of interconnection user charges regime on January 1, under which one telecom operator paid a charge to another on whose network the subscriber voice call was completed. This I have already described. What is interconnection user charges? Suppose somebody is making a call from Airtel to Vodafone, then Airtel customer is making a call to Vodafone customer. So the connection has completed with the aid of Vodafone. So Airtel, the service provider of the caller, the Airtel has to pay 6 paise per call to Vodafone. That is what is called interconnection user charges. That regime prompting the or mandating the service provider with whose service the call has originated to the service provider with whose help the call has ended, to pay 6 paise per call, that has come to an end. No need to pay interconnection user charges now. Now what does the Hindu say? We shall continue. The measure was delayed by a year by regulator TRAI due to concerns that not all operators were ready, and the shift to more efficient 4G networks compatible subscriber handset with was slower than anticipated. So this particular decision was taken much earlier, but it was delayed because of these reasons. Reason number 1, all the service providers were not ready, and there was a move to shift to more efficient 4G networks and compatibility of a handset used by many subscribers. Now that the need to monitor call in, this is the key sentence of the whole essay. Now that there is no need to monitor call information, call termination data, now they have to monitor call termination data, because it is based on the call termination data that the 6 paise per call charge has to be settled, had to be settled. Now IUC payments is no longer needed, and spectrum auction is already announced, scheduled this year. The focus should shift to giving users a better deal as reliable call quality and competitive tariffs. These are the two that Hindu describe as the so called shift to better quality. What are they? Giving more reliable call quality and competitive tariffs. Of course, the tariff has slashed like anything in the past many years, but there is scope for further cut in tariffs, so that telecommunication will become more popular and more dependable. Anyway, please read. One operator, Jio, had a higher proportion of outgoing calls to other wireless operators still since its launch a few years ago, thus having to pay significant net interconnection charges. Jio had to pay a greater interconnection charges to other, because it is from Jio that most of the originated calls, most of the calls were originated. Okay. which was 6 paise per minute since 2017. That imbalance has reduced, and TRAI has now introduced an arrangement called bill and keep, which does away with IUU. So that is it. TRAI now keeps an arrangement called bill and keep, which does away with the interconnection user charges. Please read a very good write up. Listen, so India has got one of the highest subscriber bases in the world, much more than what is available even in United States of America, maybe only second to China. So, and it is still mounting, the number of subscribers is still mounting. A beautiful article written by Justice Madan B. Lokur, former judge of the Supreme Court of India. He says that the recent promulgation of ordinance, the ordinance to prevent love jihad, popularly called love jihad, that is an ill-conceived, overboard and vague or ordinance. Listen, it is a very vague ordinance, or an ill-conceived, overboard and vague ordinance. The ordinance was promulgated by the UP government, and he says, see, this is all pure law, that's what the article says. He says that there must be circumstances under which an ordinance can be promulgated. What are the circumstances? Number one, the legislature should not be in session. You cannot undermine the authority of the legislature to come out with laws. So when only the legislature is not in session, that an ordinance can be promulgated. Two, the circumstances should warrant an important and unavoidable situation that ordinance must be promulgated. That should be there, and those circumstances must warrant an immediate action. What are they? First, the state legislature should not be in session. Circumstances should exist for promulgating an ordinance, and importantly, those circumstances must warrant an immediate action. These three things must be the precondition for promulgating an ordinance. Otherwise, it will be similar to undermining the authority of the state legislature. Now, he is speaking about the UP ordinance. The preamble of the Uttar Pradesh Prohibition of Unlawful Conversion of Religion Ordinance, commonly called Anti-Love Jihad Ordinance, merely indicates what it provides for, namely unlawful conversion from one religion to another by coercion. There are laws even now which prevent such forceful or coercive conversion of a religion. Listen, he says, if then proceeds to record satisfaction of the governor of the existence of circumstances and necessity for him or her to take immediate action. That is what the UP law says. The article continues to say that let us try and imagine the circumstances requesting promulgation of ordinance as far as marriage is concerned. If one fraudulent or coercive interfaith marriage is taking place, the police can certainly prevent it. That is what the article says. There are enough provisions within the existing laws by which the police are authorized to prevent such if such actions take place, as they supposedly do in child marriages. If the information is passed on to the police that somewhere a child marriage is taking place, then immediately the police can take action, and there are present laws are there by which the police can take actions. An ordinance is not required for it. However, if more than one such fraudulent or coercive interfaith marriage is expected to take place, the state government would have information of mass conversion for the purpose of marriage. In normal course, such mass conversions do not take place without the knowledge of the government. Government will immediately come to know. Government has got all the apparatus to know if there is mass conversion. So this particular law was ill-conceived and unnecessary. That is the essence of the act. We have to make ideas about these things by continuous reading of articles of this kind. Learned people having got huge experience at the highest echelons of law write on matters that they know. So it is through reading their articles and write-ups that we can make our own ideas and we can make our own position and stance. Please read a good article. Yes, the second question, the highest GST monthly collections since GST's inception in 2017, an amount of rupees 1,15,174 crore was recorded for the first time in the month of Dash in 2020. In which year or which month recorded the maximum GST collection? That is the question. Is it September, October, November, December, or none of these? Very good. December, a very important news item, the tax collection. We know that GST was introduced in July 2017. The goods and services taxes were introduced. Those who have joined the classes for the first time or recently, I would like to let you know that I had taken a very detailed class on goods and services tax, and that is available in some of the previous days of our daily news analysis. GST was introduced in 2017. GST is the indirect tax. GST has subsumed all taxes were subsumed, all indirect taxes were subsumed to form the national goods and services tax, and the states had surrendered their authority to tax commodities and services to the GST Council, and GST Council decides the GST, and we have got 4 GST of 4%, 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%, and then 0 and plus 28 is also there, 3% for gold. So there are 7 slabs under which GST is collected. These tax collections are shared between the center and the states. So that collection is something that government has been hoping for, because in the first almost 6 months government did not get the anticipated tax thanks to the lockdown, but ever since September we have been mopping up more and more GST, and the last 4 months, September, October, November and December, the collections, GST collections were more than the collections of the same months previous year. So that is giving good hope to the government. Ever since its inception in July 2017, December 2020 marked the highest GST collection at 1,15,174 crore. Government is putting all its weight. Government is always hoping for more GST collections in the months to come too. Already government, the fiscal deficit has overshoot the original target. It has overshoot by nearly 35% to 40% already. So government hopes that GST mop up in the months to come would be better and will give clear relief to the government. Let us hope so. So I am proceeding further. GST collections touch an all-time high in December. During the month, revenues from import of goods was 27% higher and revenues from domestic transactions including import of services are 8% higher than the revenues from those sources during the same month last year, says the Department of Revenue in the Finance Ministry. Okay, this has been due to the combined effect of rapid economic recovery post pandemic and the nationwide drive against GST evaders and fake bills, along with many systemic changes introduced recently. So the government thrusts on a few things. Government believe that the higher tax collections were because of these. What are they? One is rapid economic recovery taking place in the economy. Next is a nationwide drive against GST evaders and fake bills, along with many other systemic changes that have been brought forth. So government is pretty happy that the tax collections has touched at the highest level post pandemic. So let us, of course it has been ever since its inception in July that the tax has touched the highest level, and that too has happened at a very important time, because government revenues have been going down like anything, government expenditures have been going up like anything, the GDP has fiscal deficit has been widening. So it is a great relief to the government that GDP collections are going up. Yes, the third question of the day: why was Clerk Hindu temple in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province of Pakistan in the news recently? Please answer the question. The ruling government of Pakistan has decided to construct the temple here. The temple was demolished by a mob. The temple was completely destroyed in a massive earthquake on the New Year Eve. In an archaeological excavation, a large quantity of gold and precious stones were unearthed. What's the reason? Tell me. Why was the temple in the news recently? Clerk Hindu temple in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province of Pakistan. Yes, very good. All of you have got the correct answer. The second option is the correct one. The temple was demolished by a mob. India has lodged its staunch protest with the Pakistan government that the temple was destroyed, and the government has informed Pakistani government that religious minorities are facing persecution in Pakistan. So I am proceeding further. India seeks action for attack on Pakistan temple. Ministry said it expects details of probe into incident to be shared. Over 30 held for demolition. 30 people are already arrested in Pakistan for the demolition. Temple in Clerk Hindu temple was attacked. Please take note of the event. Please take note of the name and place of the temple. All may be important. I am proceeding. Healthy demand boost December auto sales. Auto industry has been facing deep trouble for the past 1 year or so, more than a year. It is even before the pandemic they had been very much in trouble, thanks to some of the decisions taken by the government that was regarding that Bharat 4 engines. Government said that Bharat 4 engine had to be stopped. So companies were worried that they had already produced a lot of vehicles which could not be sold, but government made relief to that post pandemic, and even otherwise the sales have been coming down. All the automobile industry, all the automobile companies in India were under deep trouble even before pandemic, but after pandemic, after September, companies have been able to sell more and more vehicles. For almost 3 months all the automobile companies were completely shut down, so employees lost their jobs, both dealers and companies suffered heavy losses, but now it is good news for all the companies. Healthy demand boosts December auto sales. So in December, auto sales has gone up in India. Please read, very important. Listen, the number of motorbikes sold in India or in rural India is an indication, is a barometer of economic performance of rural India. Number of motorbikes sold. Among many inputs that the government or statisticians take to know whether India is shining or not, the number of motorbikes sold is also a very important vital information to know whether India is doing good or bad, especially the rural India is doing good or bad. In that way also it says that the number of motorbikes is also going up. So we can hope during these very bad times that economy is back on track. Let us see. Fourth question, India's forex reserves as on the week ended December 25, 2020 were dash billion. India's forex reserves as on the week ended December 25, 2020. Forex reserves are asked sometimes by the question makers, very important information regarding the strength of the Indian economy. How much foreign exchange reserves do we have? What all make the foreign exchange? That is the value of not just the currency assets, foreign currency assets that we have, the export, when we export we get foreign exchange, the gold reserves that we have, the value of gold reserves that we have, the foreign remittances by NRIs, other investments that we get, all these things, the sum total of all these things make the foreign exchange reserves. So the foreign exchange reserves, the answer, what is it? It is many people say it is option 2. The correct answer is correct, that is it, 611.22 billion. India is sitting on top of a huge forex reserves. Our foreign exchange reserves must be enough to meet imports of a few months, then only we can say that we are comfortable. Anyway, our forex reserves are good enough. Now it is 611.22 billion, and that is the it is it is 581.13. The first option, I'm correcting myself, it is 581.13 billion. It is actually declined by 290 million from the last calculation. So it is 581.13, it is not 611.22 as I told you earlier, it is 581.13. the first option is correct. I am proceeding. Forex reserves dropped by 290 million to 580.84 billion in the week ended December 25. 581.13 to be correct, 581.13 is correct. So 580.84 billion as per the news. So India's forex reserves, you should know the range, the region. It need not be the exact value, but you should know the region. In what region is India's foreign exchange? Thank you very much for watching the program. I am very happy that most of a good number of people have joined us, and I am sure that many others who have got classes and occupied otherwise will continue to join us and will find the benefits of the program. Good reading is important, and that is something where most of the people go to the back seat. Don't be like that. Find time to read, find time to spend quality 2 hours in reading the newspapers. That will help you improve your language, that will help you improve your connect with the world, and that is what is needed for anybody who prepares for an all India level examination. The CGL is announced. the CGL, the combined graduate level is announced. The last date of application is January 31, but do not wait till January 31. Make sure that you all apply immediately, so that you can avoid the last minute rush. ICD has got a session for SSC that is available through our mobile application. So download Udyog Seva, our mobile application, and join the program. Thank you very much. We shall meet again at 3 o'clock with another session on either QATR or English, and that will also be available to all the people. We are not restricting it to our students this week. It will be open to all. Thank you very much. Goodbye.